Okay, and we are back. I took a day of breaking, a day break from playing Citizen Sleeper, so my voice could recover a bit. And during that time, I got to thinking about the game's mechanics and economy. Now it's a bit it's gonna be a lot deeper. Basically, I was thinking about the two contracts we did on the last stream, the one for the drone wreckage and the one for the memory chip. The memory chip was a big black. It put us way in the black. Well, in the red. It was a big minus to our economy because we didn't get paid for that job except for like I don't know $20 in scrap. We got a bunch of stress which you need to recover. I need to figure out how expensive it is to pay for repairs for on my character. And also ship supplies, so fuel and actual supplies make the mechanics a bit interesting because it means that since my crew can scavenge for supplies, fuel is cheap-ish in the last port we were at, Havenport, or whatever, I forgot the name. The thing that blew up, the fuel was cheap, but the supplies were expensive, which means that it was more economically feasible to have my crew scavenge for supplies and buy fuel, because the longer you stay out on the contract, it's like every day is $25 that you lose in supplies, plus the fuel. And also, sleeper stress is a lot more expensive to recover than crew stress. So we should always minimize stress on the sleeper. And to do that, we have our focus thingy, which well, our push ability, which makes our dice bigger. And if we get a critical success, we lose 1 point of stress. But we need to spend a point of stress to get it. However, we can get upgrades. Right now, I was thinking of getting upgrades for bigger dice bonuses. But instead, I'm thinking, as I upgrade my abilities, so when I get to +2 engineering or +2 interface, all I need is a plus. All I need is if my lowest dice is a 1, and I have a +2 to engineering or interface, all I need is a +3, which is what I already have with my dices, to get a critical success ensured. So it means I can spend some points instead of having a +4. I can instead the push gives a +4 to your dice. Instead, I can give it to lose stress, be negative stress when you get a critical success, which sounds much better economically speaking. Also, food is really ship supplies are really expensive, but food is really cheap. You get a lot of points of energy for really cheap. So, I just need to figure out how expensive are repairs. Anyway, so here we are. We have some supplies, we have some fuel, we have some scrap metal saved up. We have about $200 in monies. We have one more cycle before whatever happens. We spent some time exploring this place, we have some contracts, but because of my damages, it's not going very rapidly, so I want to fix my damage as fast as possible. To do that, I need scrap. I'm thinking we can get scrap by going to the Flotsam Ramshackle Flotilla, which sounds scrappy-ish. So let's go over there and spend some fuel. Go. Yo, it's pretty small. Hopefully we won't have to spend much time exploring. And we got some good dices. Something flickers in the back of your mind. You have to stop, to blink it away. It's a tightness behind your left eye, an aching point that refuses to move. And then the voice begins, hissing through the background noise of the rig system, a new whine among the chorus of the life support and ventilation. Sleeper. The hiss brings Lane's sharp features to mind. I suppose you thought you had slipped my net. Export jumps into your mind, an image of the station immolating in white light, though you were not conscious to witness it. You are distant. His voice hisses into white noise, but you are not free of me yet. I'm coming, Sleeper, and I will retake control of what is mine. The closer I come to you, the more you will feel it. Lane moves your finger to tap your forehead, and here, until you cannot resist. A bright smile, a pale eyes, a growing hiss that hurts. Then the hiss is gone, the rig suddenly quiet. The stinging tightness diffusing behind your eyes, but the fear remains. Sleeper, you good? Seraphin is there, floating by your berth. You are talking. Lane is coming. You feel him, right? We can use that. Stay ahead of him. He squeezes your shoulder. We can do this. We are fast and smart. We keep moving. We don't stay anywhere for long. And we find a way. Somehow. You nod. You do not know how Lane is able to reach into your mind like this, but how he is able to speak to you. But you want so desperately for it to stop. You must find out what he has done to you before it's too late. You must stay ahead of Lane at all costs. I got some glitch points again. Damn it! You start to tell where Flotsam ends and the ships parked at its many docking bridges begin. At Seraphin docks with the station, you realize that the rig now just looks like another piece of accumulated technology. One more bit of driftwood added to the raft. I love this place, Seraphin smiles as he shuts down the engine. You never know what you'll find. You've been here before? Back when I first came to the belt, the crew I signed on with used to run salvage jobs out there. Fun place to spend your wages. You see Bliss eyeing the station with what looks like both horror and fascination. You see the seals? They point out some twisted assembled ship parts. Total cowboy welds. They could pop at any moment. Seraphin waves away their concerns. That's just the outer layer. I heard there's 6 or 7 in all, so if one fails, it's no problem. You gotta taste some of the stuff they crew in old Takae. That's the good shit. Oh great, so many layers of redundancy and fallback that you have no hope of isolating a leak and fixing it. Sounds like a ship I know. Hey! Seraphin joins in the two of you shoulder to shoulder. She's got you here, didn't she? He shrugs at Bliss. No sense of gratitude. I was joking. Bliss looks a little hurt, and drifts out of the cockpit, shaking their head. You go to follow, but Seraphin puts a hand on your shoulder. Sleeper, remember what I said about getting checked out? There are artificers all over this place. It'll take a bit of searching, but we need to know what's going on with you. That's why we're here. Good, let me know what they say. I'm gonna see if any of my old haunts are still open. Catch you later. You're left alone in the cockpit with a view of Flotsam's chaotic structure. You look over the multicolored plating. It does, you admit, have a certain charm. Do you have multiple places to explore or just one? Just one. Alright. Analyze structure, explore Flotsam. It's all risky stuff. Hey, it worked out. And now we can get some critical successes. Explore Flotsam. Oop. Let me look at my points. So, right now we have a +1 here, so it means that my focus gives me a +3. I want to get it to get a minus... how many points? I have 0 points. I need to get a +2 to one of my skills, engineering in that instance. And then get a -1 on stress focus dice. Push, cast glitch, now stress. Stress? Minus stress effect on neutral and positive outcomes. So I could get a lot of minus stresses. I could get -2 stress. And then on neutral outcomes, so I could only get to a 5. That could be pretty good. But let's spend points on here, then on my core skills first. Anyway, let's keep exploring. We'll have a bunch of glitch dice tomorrow, which is gonna hurt us. We found out some locations. The narrow escape, a crashed ship turned bar. I can take a recovery contract for $8. Let's see. Oh, is this a random thing? Requirement, recover a stranded rig. Repayment, scrap plus components. My rig's blown its propulsion and I'm stranded on some godforsaken rock. Repair crew needed. Will split hull, no time wasters or thieves. I am armed. Or I can buy a meal. Oh, we need to find a place to get fuel. But I can take this contract, it's cheap. Yoink. The contract will pay you directly for scrap. That's fine. A tanker over there. I can buy scrap components for $22. So it's $50 every time I break one of my dices. I can buy some fuel. I can fill full of fuel for pretty cheap. I want to repair before I go out on the contract. Let me look at my map. How much for the stranded rig? Only 2 fuel, huh? Let's repair one of my dices. Wait for all the glitches to be out. Okay, let me first. Okay. I want you. Lady is hunting you once again. His progress will be tracked by the hunt clock. If this is filled, he'll catch up to you. It will increase once per cycle you spend at the hub. However, each time you travel, the hunt will reduce by 3. If you keep moving, you can stay one step ahead of Lane. This I want you to scavenge for supplies. I'll buy some fuel. This is really cheap. Cheap fuel. I need to get all my glitches out. Well, I can wait until we have one glitch dice. Let me repair a bit. It means I can take more actions. Go out here to the workshop. Repair one dice, please. Improvise repairs. Oof, I'm full of glitches. But I got an upgrade point. Let me think. If I repair all my glitches now, we could try. I need to spend a bit of time here. All right, I'm starving now. Almost all my dice are glitched. I need some energy. Here we go. And time to keep exploring. Yay. Warning, glitch dice slotted. Ah, we can lose some energy, but we can still do good stuff. Hey, positive outcome. It worked out. The Chaos of Flotsam intrigues you. Passage to passage, it is the most incoherent place you have ever visited. Plating, cladding, and cushioning of all kinds of conditions hides a forest of wires and ducts, interfacing in ways their manufacturers would have never dreamed possible. Rooms are crushed cargo bays, flipped bridges, and eviscerated engine rooms. Patchwork corridors are lumped with messy welds, bending worryingly along their lengths. It is, to put it nicely, a total mess. It's not that you don't like it, but finding an artificer among this chaos has been more than a little challenging. This cycle, searching these winding passages once more, seeing only scrap merchants and junk shops, you have begun to wonder if Seraphin had any idea what he was talking about when he advised you to come here. A sleeper, the voice cuts through the pungent air. Well, I never. Jean-Mi, strange artificer. You glance at the voice's direction. You find yourself looking at a small booth, piled with tech. Behind a fogged and scratched plastic screen is a meticulously arranged counter, the only clear spot in sight. At it, an older man with wet and wandering eyes sits neatly. Excuse me? The man's eyes widen. Apologies. I wasn't sure you'd even hear me. Jean-Mi tilts his head. I didn't mean to be rude, please. And he bows a little. Alright. He smiles warmly, almost bowing again, his hunched movements accentuating the movement. How are you feeling, sleeper? I am Jean-Michel, though please. To you, Jean-Mi. I work with machines, mostly small ones. I'm not great. Of course, he chops with his hand to indicate a stool with a leg bar, meant for perching beside this counter, and such is the clarity and persuasiveness of his movement that you obligingly sit. Your presence is a rare honor here. I'm sorry if I make you uncomfortable. I'm just very pleased to see you. Need help? I was more imagining I could help you. I can see your journey to me has not been easy, he says with genuine concern. You track his eyes across your body, noticing the scuff marks on your thick, vinyl-like skin, the replaced and broken parts of your body, the mark of violence. You pull your jacket a little tighter. Jean-Mi folds his hand one over the other. I do not know what your experience has been, but I want to assure you that I see you as a person, as being a soul, shall we say, as bad as any other. Look at Jean-Mi, his own age and wear also evident, a life of precise and careful work shaping his body into a reflection of his process. Alright then. He looks down at the counter and begins to take apart tiny pieces of machinery. Many years ago when I began my apprenticeship, I would find that whenever I saw something that, how to say, was not working well, I was fixated on it in its repairs. Of course, the belt is filled with these kinds of dysfunctional detail. And so I was busy for many years with these small fixings. But now I find that when I'm interested in a thing that is not working as it should, it is because I might have some quality not yet foreseen or discovered. He releases the altered object into the air where it ballistically twists in an hypnotic display, like a spinning top whose movements are totally unpredictable. I can see that you are in the process of becoming a sleeper. Let me aid you in this. What do you mean? Hold still, sleeper. Something flickers inside the goggle, their face blank. Jean-Mi's hands across the buttons and switch on the exterior, tuning, focusing. When the goggles are finally lowered, they reveal a look of concern on Jean-Mi's face. I think you better come inside. He kicks off from his desk and disappears. A moment later, you hear a rattle and a small bulkhead door beside the booth that you had assumed was rusted shut. Bleh. A moment later, you hear a rattle and a small bulkhead door beside the booth you had assumed was rusted shut creaks open. Jean-Mi beckons you inside. Jean-Mi's workshop is even more cramped than you expected. As you enter, you are surrounded by on all sides with netting holding bundles and bundles of terminals, servers, drives, and cables. At its center, a padded seat and a set of articulated arms mounted with sensors and tools to fill the place. The seat, please. I sit. You tentatively sit on the seat, slipping your arms and feet into the straps meant to keep you from floating out in zero G. Jean-Mi floats beside you. He looks across your body. There's damage here, I see. We will get to that. But I see something else as well. This is why you came. He looks at you solemnly. Yes. Though I've never met a sleeper, I have studied them. I was lucky to acquire some materials from SNR some time ago, in the interest of my own endeavor. You are pleasingly distinct from those materials. Am I right in thinking you've been modified? I was rebooted. I see. Yes, I see that your dependency on stabilizers, on the immune recording portion of its makeup at least, has been broken. But that's not all. You're physically modified, not externally, but internally. Your tracker is disabled, which makes it impossible for SNR to find you. Congratulations. But it's not all. You have been modified, but you're also being modified as we speak. You feel a strange claustrophobia as Jean-Mi's statement, modified, stuff and rebooted your system, ran the recording protocol, but that shouldn't have physically changed you. It only removed your planned obsolescence. How? Jean-Mi goes to the terminal and flicks a switch. These changes appear to be complex, subtle, but consistent. Jean-Mi goes silent as he taps the terminal. What changes? See here, he points to the flickering representation of your spine. Your nervous system is growing additional nodal points, here and here. Meanwhile, your emulation interface is growing an umbilical access port. Towards what end I am unsure. You instinctively reach back and touch the base of your head. As you do, the scan flickers and screeches with noise. You feel for something there, growing under your thick vinyl skin. Can you feel a lump, or is that just your imagination? You pick at it. Jean-Mi sighs and shuts off the terminal. The changes are partial, and in honesty, the resolution is too poor. I need to run a full diagnostic, but for that I would need just over to another terminal. Some kind of medium to hold your suspended emulation. The access jack I can build myself, but we'll need to bridge your emulation. A ship mind would be ideal for this. Would have to be a high quality, a prime ship mind. Solheim in origin. Perhaps Hylian Gate might hold records of any that were in the system. Jean-Mi turns back to you. The prime ship mind is essential if you wish to further the investigation to be done. I will need this above all. I'm sorry to say, Sleeper. Anything else? Accurately, no. It's clear that the process has begun, but is not yet complete. Jean-Mi busies himself with taking down the sensors and folding away your articulated arms. As he does, you try to calm yourself. You feel as if you have worms under your skin, and it takes all your focus not to pick at its seams. Jean-Mi suddenly but gently places a hand on yours. Please remain calm, this can help you. He puts a carefully restored rare component in your hand. Jean-Mi waits for you to fall still, then he leans back a little, relieving some of the strange intimacy of the moment. For now, our work is concluded. He meshes his fingers again and bows with a small head bob. But you're welcome anytime. I have to think. I understand this. His manners seem to have returned to something more businesslike. You get up from the seat a little dazed and push away from the passage. Safe travels, Sleeper, Jean-Mi says quietly, placing the promised list in your hand as he lets you back into the station. You leave dazed, unsure to how to feel about this kindness, but most of all haunted by the idea of the unseen processes that are running within you. Part of you does not wish to know anything further, to leave this place and never look back. Another is desperately wants to know everything, retrieve every object on the list so that you may know the strangeness that is happening within you. Oh, and Seraphin is here. Seraphin comes to your bunk. After Jean-Mi's assessment, you find yourself drifting back to the rig. You need the familiarity and the comfort in your own ship. Sleeper, you found an artificer? I'll explain. You tell him about Jean-Mi, how he offered you repairs and ran an assessment of your frame. You describe the cramped booth, the articulated arms, the strangeness of seeing your own body anatomized up on the terminal screen. Then you tell him that your body is changing, growing in ways Jean-Mi cannot identify. Some process has been started and you do not know where it will end. You mention umbilical ports and nodal points. I don't remember the details. Seraphin grows pale and silent. Lane, that piece of shit has to be behind this. Maybe. For sure. We'll get you what you need. We'll find that ship mind. A bit of work here and there and we can make it to Hylian Gate and whatever else. What about you? We'll do that too. We're free, Sleeper. No one can stop us. Just say the word, okay? Don't give up on yourself just yet. Get up and get back to it. And he disappears from sight. And then when you're ready, you get up and leave. Okay, we have a bunch of new locations. Jean-Mi's booth. If I have a ship mind data, I can give it to him. Integrator offices. Oh, I can work there. I can buy engine components. That's expensive. Drop some integration. Alright, I can work. Down there. The old Takahe, an antique hydroponic ship. I can buy supplies for expensive stuff. I can work the hydroponics too. Let me work the hydroponics, maybe it'll pay me in energy. Old Takahe is the oldest ship in the Flotsam and now serves a huge hydroponic farm, keeping the station alive. Ships are almost always available. Alright. Negative. We get a bit of money but lose some energy. I can also repair myself. Yay, plus 8 cryo. Eh, we can make some money. Let me do some repairs with a rare component. But there's still gonna be minor glitches, please no. I got a point of glitch still. Oh well. Let me see, how much fuel do I need to go to another place? Let's say I want to go to Wellspring. Nope, there's a debris field. Helion Gate is 8 points. Holmes Rock is 7 fuel. I can go to the Far Spindle anytime I want. And we have a bunch of contracts over there. Oh, but we have a safe contract in here. If I spend a bit of time here... Oh, but I'm gonna have to move soon. Let's make some money here and try to recover. Let's see how the... let's see if we can stay in one place for long-ish. Making money. Alright, 2 glitch dices. Let me think. The tanker. I can buy stuff. The offices. They need volunteers. Let's try. Neutral plus 8 cryo. 50-50. Less energy. Time to eat. Buy supplies. No, but I want to eat. Go to the bar. 15 bucks. Yeah, okay, we can fail all of our dice rolls and we still come out in the positive. As long as we work the hydroponics or something and still get paid. 8 cryo. 8 cryo. Okay, so we can... Okay, here's the plan. We're gonna wait here for one more cycle. So we can lose some glitch. We're gonna go to the other Flotsam, or whatever it's called. We're going to go to the Far Spindle, explore the place so I know all the options, and then once we, the cycle, once Lane is comes back on our trail again, we go back again to this place, to Flotsam, get some components, and then we make our way to Helion Gate. Since we're gonna have some repair materials, we can take on more contracts and stuff. That's the plan anyway. Okay, you should do some odd jobs, Bliss. Nope. Today's the day we leave. We only have 1 glitched dice. I can do some good work, that means. Let's do good work. Up. Plot some maintenance. Hey, I get some... Oh, I can get some raw scrap. Which isn't what I need to repair myself, but still. What if I do some integration? What happens over there? I can still get more raw scrap. And what if I keep working the hydroponics? Get a positive result? Nope, I'm still losing energy. I'll take the raw scrap though. Okay, buy a meal. We have the fuel we need to leave. I'll still buy a bit more at the tanker because it seems especially cheap. Okay, let's think. Here we can buy supplies at 15 bucks, and we can buy fuel at 6 bucks. So here we can buy fuel at 6 bucks. I'm gonna buy a bit. 3 extra. Okay, 3 extra. Go over here. Keep working a bit. Alright. So here it's fuel is at $6, supplies at $15. Let's see about the other place. Back inside the far spindle. Boop. We should lose our hunting progress. Let's see about the supplies here. Here's a bar. Nope. Doesn't sell supplies here. Signal station. That's the place to work. Down here. Nope. That's a shift. What? There's no place for me to buy my supplies. I haven't discovered it yet. Oh boy. Okay. Let's spend the glitch dice here. Okay, Beltborn Venture. A gambling barge. I can make a bar shift here. Okay, I still need places to get my supplies though. The core. Explore the core. Time to explore. New location discovered. What kind of location? The trade hall. Okay, fuel is for $5. Supplies 15. So here fuel is a bit cheaper. Just a bit. Let's do a good shift. Good work. A seating shift. Okay, 11 cryo. We get paid more over here. There's a kitchen. We can get a meal if I work there. I can help out the residents. Sure. Oop. New location discovered. A scrapper ship. Ah, for scrap. It's still $22. But I can process scrap. And pay me for the offcuts. It's not a bad deal. 2 scrap for... Oh, I get 1 process scrapped. And 7 cryo. Oh, so I can do like some kind of trade route. Hey, that's neat. And I can take a scrap shift too. Up. 14 cryo. Hey, we're making positive money now. I think we're good for making a contract. Let's see. This one was to find Yuijin as the location of a lost wreck that he says holds some priceless salvage. This is a wild goose chase or a golden opportunity. Only one way to find out. And over there, mine a nice rich asteroid for a bunch of money. It's a risky contract. Malik and the Springtide are being held on the far spindle until they can fulfill the water order. This asteroid might be key. Do we have enough crew? I don't think we have enough crew for this. Well, actually, maybe we do. Yeah, we have Bliss and Yuijin. They have different skills. Let's go. Let's go, contract. This one pays well. I can use the extra money to do stuff. The asteroid looms large in the cockpit's glass. Light glints off the sheet of the surface ice. The same glint that must have caught Malik's attention when he was fleeing the Conway countermeasures that damaged the Springtide. There's been no sign of Conway drones or mines, but that hasn't stopped Seraphim being cautious in his approach. You have to admit that you found yourself searching the black void of space for a telltale blinking red beacon too. We're close enough to jump down the surface. Seraphim locks down the engine. I don't see anything on the scope, but I'll keep her warm just in case. Why are you so jumpy? Do you see those holes in the Springtide? Seraphim responds without looking away from the controls. We hit one of those Conway mines, we'll be dust. I say we course this snowball fast. The less time we run out here, the less likely we are to run into anything. Conway left behind. Simple. Sure, but fast means messy. Messy means more damage to the ice. We don't need to crack the shelf and lose half the water we came to survey. Who says anything about messy? Fast and clean. Easy. You unclip from your seat and kick off towards the airlock. The scale of the asteroid is troubling you, but Seraphim assured you that on the journey here that surveying it would be easy enough. Just take a sample from the deep ice for testing. The problem is, he said, getting down to the deep. You have to cut away the ice, dig yourself a hole, and doing so will create fractures in the shelf. The asteroid may be big, but it's held together with only a weak gravitational force. The more the ice is cracked, the less there is for the far spindle to harvest, something you doubt Malik would be happy about. You push the worry to the back of your mind and get suited up. Something on your mind, Bliss drifts up beside you and pulls a suit from the rack. Just hope we don't mess up. Me too. I don't want to jinx it, but it seems simple enough. Can't say the rock, or in this case ass cutting, is my usual strength, but it's gotta be simpler than slicing a hole without touching any of the internals. We'll be fine. Bliss' reassurance that they don't have any experience with the job you're about to do doesn't exactly calm your worries, but their nonchalant attitude helps, especially when you're considering the volume of ice you're about to start cutting into. Cheer up. Might never happen. The lock cycles and you find yourself staring out at the glinting surface of the asteroid. 1 second, Sleeper. I'm seeing something here. Some kind of man-made shaft on the far side of the asteroid. Interesting. Yuijin is stood beside you in the airlock, but in this vacuum, you only hear him through the comlinks. Crews sometimes stash goodies onto the rock like this. Let's go take a look. Just hold up. The survey is our first priority, and the integrity of the water ice. Hunting for buried treasure comes dead last on the to-do list. Don't get distracted. You squint at the rock and spot a dark recess just over the curve of the asteroid. That'll be the distraction then. You refocus on the ice. Time to get started. Let's see what we have to do. What kind of checks do we have? Engineer. Survey surface. Only... Oh, Bliss can help us with engineering. Duh. But they have bad dices. Explore the crack. Clear the ice. This is a bad day. Let's use this one. Rather than scanning for sampling location, you can take one by chipping away the surface of the ice to reach the core. A rather aggressive approach. Hey, we did it. Let's spin our dices. Yay, we did it. I can get a 4 out here. Let's go for this risky one. 25% chance to mess up. Hey. We should take our time. I'm not gonna spend any of these weak dices. We can stay out here for a long while. We'll be fine. Reroll these dices. I could have pushed though. Too late. Okay, so I'm the one with the weaker dice. And I can push it with a +3. It'll become a 4. And I can make it a 5 by I can try it. No, I don't want to risk it. What can Yuijin do with his 5? He can do one over here. Clear the ice. 50-50. Neutral outcome. Got a bit of stress. Let's keep digging over here. Bliss, you got it. Up. Nice. I can keep it up. Come on. A bit more. A bit more. Come on. It's almost done. Done. New location discovered. Deep ice. I gotta get a core. Extract core sample. Let's see, if I do a push, it'll make my 1 into a... it'll make my 1 into a 3. I could just spend the dices. Just spend the 1s, and then I can push a 2 into a 5. Nah. Let me just spend Bliss's 3. That's no good. That's decent. Explore the crack still. Bleh. Got a bit of stress. Oh, I also got stress at some point somehow. Oh, that's not good. I didn't notice I had stress. It means we gotta rush now. Okay, one more. Let's sleep a bit. We'll have to do repairs probably. I'm gonna lose some stuff. Ouch. I only took 1 bit of damage. Not too bad. My lowest dice is a 1. Um. Let's go for the core sample first. Go. I want you guys to start taking stress, please. Crew stress is not as bad as sleeper stress. Alright. Bliss, I could try it. I could go over here instead. 50-50 for a positive outcome. That's decent. Okay, now my turn. Come on. Ah, stress again. Nah, I'm not gonna risk it over here. Let's see what happens if you mess this one up. I want some ice stress. I need some ice stress. Clear the ice. It could damage the asteroid structure. Well, I do want the asteroid to start taking damage because we have plenty of spare. Plenty of spare stuff. Okay. Derelict bunker. Scavenge hardware. Scavenge data. Oh! I can make... If I spend my 1 here... If I can spend my 1 here, I can use my... I can spend my 2 into a 5 and get a critical success. I can scavenge treasures or data. I'm gonna need repairs after this, so... Let's go for treasures. Push. Critical success. Nice. Okay, time to take a break. We're gonna take some more dice damage. That's not good. Nope! Ooh, look at these dices. Okay, let's finish with the survey first. Let's wrap this up. I'm gonna use the 6s. I'm good. Boom, got the core. The sample core, a long and weighty cylinder of cloudy ice, comes up out of the borehole cleanly. It glows in the sunlight, catching the rays in its frosted interior. What a beaut. Looks drinkable to me. Hell, I'd be happy to slice it up and drop a few chunks in a glass of rack. Let's not melt it down for liquid refreshment just yet. It's likely packed with unpleasant impurities. The question is, are they the kind of impurities that the far spindle can filter out? Let's get it up to the ship. We can run the analysis on the trip back. If we get any ideas about digging around on the asteroid some more, remember that if we break away any of the ice, Malik will likely dock our pay. As you do, you look back at the asteroid, wondering if it might be a bargaining chip Malik has been looking for. You'll know soon enough. Well, time to scavenge. We've got a lot of critical success piled up. I could just push it if I wanted to. I'm gonna go over here to get... No, we can just have a... We can have a rig... Go over here, please. Come on, critical success. Give me data. Hey, we did it. And over here. Get the treasures. Boom, we're done. A flickering screen catches your eyes in the dark of the bunker. I got 2 rare components, that's good for repairs. A distorted female face, further reflected by the surrounding ice, stares at you from the terminal's blank white eyes. He moved closer, straining to hear her voice. But the recording is silent, or perhaps the terminal's audio output is broken. All you can do is watch the pale face as it contorts, through the corruption and noise. It could be explaining some important secret, long forgotten, or just recounting a personal anecdote, it's hard to tell. Circles and curving arcs flash across the face, graphical visualizations of orbits and flight plans. You squint at them, the shapes unknown to you. And as soon as it starts, the playback ends, leaving a frozen frame on the screen, a ghost face, circled by orbits. You start to drive into the terminal and copy that what residual data is left, unsure where you might lead you. Once it's done, you shut off the terminal, once and for all. As you leave the bunker, the pale face flashes once more in your mind, those blank eyes, the flat stares. Was that a human or something else? You turn the image over in your mind, unsure of its importance. I got 3 bits of Solheim data. Well, we're done here. Time to head back. Gotta go to the map. Contract conclude. Leave the contract. We didn't even lose any dices. Nice. On the journey back from the asteroid, you pored over the tests Malik have given you you pour over the tests that Malik have given you to run, improvising necessary equipment from your mess. Each one produces pools of data, much of which you couldn't parse. Arriving to the vicinity of the far spindle, you broadcast these strings of data to Malik's personal terminal on the springtide, as instructed. Despite all the preparations, you are still surprised when you find Malik standing at the far side of the docking tunnel as you leave the rig. Sleeper, I thought it was best I come down here, away from my crew to discuss your findings. How were the findings? Straight to the point. Good. As I suspected, the asteroid was indeed rich with water ice. Thankfully, the contaminants can be dealt with. With the data you provided, I should be able to convince the Far Spindle administration that it is worth. Then we're good? That remains to be seen. Before I make payment, I would ask in person if you saw anything else of consequence. Anything to share with me that might affect my dealings with the Far Spindle. I would prefer not to have any surprise when they go to retrieve the water. It was a shaft. Interesting. It's likely of no consequence, but if there is something of value there, it could be to my benefit. I will mention that potential of additional salvage to the Far Spindle administration. Given the data, it doesn't seem to have impacted the ice. Malik reaches into his pocket and produces a stack of cryo chits, bound carefully with a strip of paper. 250 cryo as agreed. Did the chits and he quickly tucked them away. With that, our business is concluded, Sleeper. I must speak with the administrations to negotiate the release of my ship, and prepare for immediate departure. The Syndicate will be eager for my successful return. Thank you. Should our paths cross again, I will say that it will be to your benefit. Big money. Sleeper, can I have a minute? Seraphine catches your attention. Of course. Seraphine ducks to a maintenance passage and waits for you to follow. In the narrow passage, framed by loose wires and thick conduit, Seraphine looks suddenly small, trapped. He looks at an open circuitry panel as he speaks, avoiding your gaze. You see he's playing with a coin in his hand, nervously spinning in the air. Since we cleared Hexport, I've been putting feelers out for something. I've been in the belt a long time, and I came here alone. But back on Darkside, just before we make a break for it, I heard something. Heard someone was looking for me. Who? I also heard something else. They said that the person looking for me claimed to be my sister. You have a sister? Is it the Tavern Keep person? I did, yeah, or I do. But I don't even know if it's really her, just because someone says they're my sister. Well, I can't be sure. The thing is, I haven't seen my sister in a long time. I was still a kid when I left, so was she, though I don't think she would have liked to admit it at the time. I know you don't remember how it was back in the dark side, I mean. But we were alone, you and me. Lane didn't let us out much, just to work and that was all. So when I overheard one of his guys mention someone was sniffing around, trying to find me, I didn't know what to think, and then hearing it could be my sister. You try to recall the time the cycle spent under Lane's influence, working for him in exchange for stabilizer. You close your eyes, focus, but the details flicker, the images collapse and reform. Has Seraphine told you this before, or was this all part of your plan? You wanted to go find her? It changed things for me, the thought that she could be out there. Don't get me wrong, I wanted to get you out there too. I know it doesn't matter now, but I told you about her back then, before. I'm sorry I don't remember. It's okay, Sleeper, I understand. Since we got away since export, I've been asking around, speaking to spacers, traders, and like I said, something has finally come up. It seems whoever was training me left Darkside pretty soon after Utsubo caught wind of her sniffing around. I thought they made her feel very welcome, but I managed to get her name. The name she gave, Luz, wasn't my sister's. That doesn't mean much. It gave me something to follow. She bounced around the wash for a little, Forest Spindle, Flotsam, not sure why. The last thing she did was book a passage to Wellspring on a low-tick freighter. That's it. I could have helped. You wanted something concrete, something clear? You want to help? Now's your chance. I want to go to Wellspring, Sleeper, to know if it's really her, and if it isn't, to settle what needs settling. Alright then. Thank you, Sleeper. I will admit that it's been very strange, reminding myself that everything we talked about back on Darkside, everything we did, is lost now. But I'm glad to see you're still you, whatever that means. Alright. Anyway, better get back to it. You watch him go, wondering if your past together can ever be reclaimed. Your mind wanders to the thought of Seraphine's sister. For a moment you wonder what it is like to have a family, and if you will ever know. Oh! All this time we spent didn't count for my... the hunt clock. So, okay, that's good to know. In that case, I should go and get another contract done. Where's Wellspring? All the way up there. Go to Flotsam, then Holmes Rock, then Wellspring. Okay, well... we need some supplies again. And fuel. Store supplies, Bliss, please. We'll spend our dices. We've explored the entire place, right? Nope, not done yet. There's more to find out. Oop. Hey, one upgrade point. The far spindle lives up to its name, its tall stature making the real effort to travel from end to end. The local solution to this problem are the transit tunnels, massive tubes bolted onto the side of the spindle to allow for rapid passage from bottom to top. As you find yourself in one of these cavernous passages, bulky cargo haulers rushing by, you start to wonder if braving them is worth the effort. Back up, the shout rattles down the bare transit corridor like a gunshot, and is rapidly followed by a crunching impact. You spin back, pushing yourself against the side of the wide cylindrical passage. As you do, a hauler glides past, sending a rippling wave of air across you in its wake. KD? When the roar subsides, you hear a string of expletive coming from nearby. A spiky-looking figure, clutching some oddly shaped open-frame object, gestures wildly at the vehicle as it glides away. Dickhead. She spits an impressive glob of saliva down the tunnel, and it spirals in GOG. She turns to you in anger. You see that? Tried to slam me into a wall. I didn't. Well, whatever. She sniffs and looks up at you, and she looks up and down. You're not supposed to be in the transit system without a vehicle. Not like I care, but maybe you do? Sorry. Like I said, I don't care. You're new here, right? I am. She shrugs sympathetically. Figures. Let me give you a tip. She begins checking our open-frame vehicle, tightening bolts and untangling pipes. Avoid the haulers, dickheads, the lot of them, especially the water haulers. They think they're better than anyone. Don't mess with the stevedores, though. They're good people. They get treated like shit by everyone else just like us. That'll show you the shortcuts. And never ever get in a spindlejack's way. What's a spindlejack? You're looking at one. She pauses, considering something. Then suddenly she reaches into one of her many pockets and pulls out a small transparent rectangle. Cadet. Stripline Express. Cadet, that's me. Stripline is my outfit. Kamal's the dispatcher. Small outfit, but we punch above our weight. Dispatch is here in the spindle's cores, but I run the transit tunnels up and down the spindle 10 times a cycle. You need anything moving on the spindle? Data, tech, message, too hot for the hard line? Come find me. Alright then. Tell them I sent you. They'll make sure it gets to me. She kicks off the wall and mounts her bike, triggering a small burst of compressed air to keep herself steady in the transit passage. You hear a buzz of distorted speech from what you assume is her dispatcher. Cadet angles her head to her communicator and mutters back into it. Got a hop, sleeper? Any idea? Or perhaps just a realization? You might be able to help me with something. The package has been bothering me. Come to the office at Stripline in a few cycles and I'll show you. Alright. We'll call it a favor on my account of me saving you from being flattened by the hauler. Now you better get out there before another hauler tries to squish you. You step back as she twists at the handlebars and a burst of air sends her flying down the transit corridors at an unsettling speed. You watch her go, slightly caught off guard by her final remark. What would the courier need you for? You turn the idea over in your head as you find your way to this transit corridor, back to the safety of the main concourse. Alright. The express in a few cycles. I can go and do some work, I guess. A bar shift. That's not gonna go well, but I can try. We can get better. Because initially we find a sponsor. Need to be a member to go and start gambling. I see. Gambling. Yay, neutral outcomes. Signal station, I can go over there to work. Alright. No, let's go to the kitchen. Because we can get progress on our clock. Impressing Nimba. We can still get paid in energy though. Yay, energy and impressing Nimba. Alright, let's stay here for another cycle. Thank you. We'll slowly make back our supplies. We'll have to travel soon. Let's go to the kitchen and try to get some more progress over there. More energy. Hey, positive outcome. More energy. A lot more energy. Let's see what Nimba has to give to us, or say to us. Come on, positive, neutral outcome. Come on, neutral. Neutral! Nope. Next cycle. How many drives do I have? A couple. Life cycle spent across here. Sleeper, cadet drifts from the shadows outside Bliss's Bay, looking around nervously as she approaches. Seems like I'm going to need to call in a favor. Are you okay? Her face is pale and deadly serious. Are you okay? She doesn't seem to hear you, distracted by a group of spacers gliding noisily down the passage behind her. She waits until they pass. Someone hits strip line, no idea where Kamal is. Bunch of goons tearing the place apart as we speak. Even tried to grab me, but those muscles' heads are slow. Why? Remember the package I asked for your help? Don't know what's bothering me? I reckon it got something to do with it. The job was a bust, an express run all the way to the underhang, but when I got there, no one home. The place was smashed up. Looks like someone got there first. Should have dumped the package and run, but I brought it back to a good girl, stashed it in a safe spot at stripline. Thought the sender might come to recover it, and when they didn't, well, I got curious. Propped it open. Stupid thing to do. Inside was a drive, encrypted to hell and back. When I ran into you, well, I heard sleepers are good with data, with tech, so I thought you might be able to help. Now stripline's trash too. Here's the thing, back when I popped it open, I noticed the drive had a dispatch marker, Hexport. Oh. Hexport getting atomized? Yeah, that's where I'm at too. This thing was sent out from there just before it got cooked. And it gets the kind of attention I've been getting the past couple cycles. She sips a hand terminal from her bag, taps a couple times, then holds it up to you. Cadet stares up at you from the screen, straight-faced and pale. Beside her picture, you see a block capital, Spindlejack KD754, in breach of FAR Spindle code B12 and F34. Reward for information leading to capture considered dangerous. Dickheads blasting it out on the transit channels. Every Spindlehead, hauler, and freight carrier is going to be watching for me. Something's going on. Need help? Spindlejacks don't make friends easily, and not all the couriers I do know are looking to turn me in for pay. Why do you think I'm here? It's time for that favor, Sleeper. My connections are burned. My whole career is gone. I need to fight back. If I walk away, there's nothing to walk away to. I need your help. What do? I need to get the drive. If they want it that much, then I can use it to buy my way out of the shit show. And I tucked it away somewhere safe. So my guess is that they haven't gotten it yet. You just step in, I'll give you the location and pull the thing out. Should be simple. Alright then. Thank you. This thing turns out to be worth something, I'll get you due. All I want is my life back. The drive is in the workshop. There's a loose panel behind the air bike rack. It's tapped to the back of the fuse box inside. I've got to keep heading down Spindle to the overhang past the end transit tunnels. No one will let me out there. I'll come find you when it's done. I still got some network access. I'll know when you go in. My bag's locked up nearby. I'm gonna hop. Do me a favor, then we're clear. Stay safe. I'm trying my best. And then she goes back on her air bike. You know, you get a feel that empathy, a connection with a cadet. But from every other angle, this thing looks like bad news, the kind of sensible person would steer clear from. And perhaps you should steer clear of it, if it wasn't for one detail. The drive is from a Hexport. Is that enough to send you down to the strip line and search for the drive? Yes. Let's go and see. It's over here. The strip line express. Hey, I can do some engineering checks. Cut your way in. I think we have enough dices. Oh yeah, we have enough dices. Up. I'm getting the drive. You slide the loose panels away from the wall, letting it float there besides the air bike rack. Behind it, in the dark, you see the blinking lights of the fuse box. A noise nearby draws your attention for a moment. The scrape of sliding doors, perhaps? Or some old systems cycling in the walls. It took long enough to gain access to the Stripline Express bike garage, and longer still to find a safe route to the air bike racks. But you're almost there. You have seen and heard the hired muscle searching and guarding the place, but you've been lucky enough not to come face to face with them yet. You turn back to the darkness behind the panel. If what Cadet said is right, the drive is tapped to the back of the fuse box in front of you. You reach through and around, slowly, carefully, and your hand settles on something cold and metallic. It's taped firmly to the box. You pull at it, but it doesn't budge. A quiet rattle echoes from the dispatch office next door, and you freeze for a second. It seems Cadet was a little too enthusiastic with the tape. Peel the tape. Neutral. Close your eyes and feel for the seam of the tape. Taking your time, you pick at it, working each piece away from the drive. You hear a clattering sound nearby as you peel it off. The final piece in the drive spins into your hand. Time to move. You sit the drive inside your coke and kick away from the wall, gliding back towards the maintenance corridor you entered from. As you cross the bike garage, you hear voices in the dispatch office next door. Just as you tuck yourself in the cool darkness of the maintenance corridor, a screech indicates the opening of a door from the office next door. Voices rumble through the room, and you quickly and quietly push yourself deeper into the guts of the building, too close. Barely daring to breathe, you carefully make your way through the maze of passages that brought you here, their dog legs and dead ends now familiar. A dog leg? That's a weird way of saying that. Eventually, you spot a thin slit of light ahead, marking the loose panel you levered open to gain entrance. You take a deep breath, almost there. As you reach the gap, you freeze. Voices rumble from the beyond, and peering through, you see two figures in dark clothes searching the chaotic bay behind the strip line. Your eyes are drawn to the dark, boxy weapons one holds at their side. Shit, you hiss silently up to yourself, your eyes searching for a way through. Just wait. Neutral. You wait, silently and still, as the figures search. They split and drift over the bay. You take the chance, sliding open the panel and slipping behind the scraps and box at the edge of the room. You work your way around until you can't get any further. You kick off hard, making a dash for the far side of the bay, and the public passage beyond. There's a hiss and the guttural chatter of a pressure valve as an airbag pulls beside you. Cadet leans over and grabs the collar of your coat. Hop on. In a moment, you are on the back of the airbike, clutching the strap of Cadet's bag as she guns it down the passage, the air resistance almost ripping you from the tin seat. You lean against her back and let out a sigh, the drive pressing in your ribs beneath your jacket. You did it. Still alive back there? Cadet's voice brings you back from the hypnotic rhythm of the tunnel lights rushing past the airbike. She slows the bike with a rapid series of hisses, and you realize that she brought you back to the passage outside Bliss's Bay. You try to understand the route she took, a long loop through the branching transit tunnels of the station, but give up. You can let go now. She straightens up and you unhook your figure from her bag strap, separating yourself with her back. You push her off the bike gently and float in the passage beside her. You okay? Look pretty rough back there. Appreciate you putting it all on the line for me. Export was my priority. Fair enough. Wanna show me the drive then? You fish the drive out, the jacket, and hand it over. That's the one. Should have checked it when I had the chance. You get the first good look at it, and there's not much to see. A small lump of solid-state memory with a few markers on the case. You spot a yellow hex among them. Export. What now? She winks, slides her back around her shoulder to the front, and slots the drive neatly into her pocket. I know someone in the scatter yards who can crack anything. She'll be my first port of call to crack this thing open. I should make myself scared from the spindle anyway, before those dickheads catch up with me. Wanna come with us? I appreciate the offer, but I think it's best if we go our separate ways for now. Two targets are harder to track than one. She cycles the pressure valve on the bike impatiently. Cadet leans away from her bike, squinting out at the viewing windows of the ship behind. That yours? If I'm not mistaken, that old thing is going to struggle to reach the scatter yards. Unless you added a have-nav suit. A what? Yeah, belt bin between here and scatter yard is drawing in debris, worse since export. You need hazard navigation to make the crossing safety. Low-Tech Syndicate created the tech to help their tankers cross the belt. Common knowledge. If you head up to Wellspring, you can barter or steal a suit. Here, Cadet unties a bag lashed to her bike frame and holds it out to you. Not enough here for a refit, but maybe you'll find some use for them. You take the bag and something clinks inside. You see some engine components. I was gonna use them to boost her. She taps at the frame of the bike, but you deserve them. Not like I've been doing any runs for a while anyway. Alright then. It's nothing. You deserve them. Cadet's airbag stutters and purrs, trembling in the air like an arrow ready to be loosed. See her round, she winks and guns the throttle, zipping down the passage with a pulse of air that ripples through her clothes. You stares after her she's gone, the bag of components still hanging in your hand. You realize that as you look down the passage that you never asked how Cadet plans to get to the scatter yards. That question, like a score of others, will have to wait until you run into her again. Although you have a feeling that she'll find a way to slip away before you can ask next time too. You head back towards your ship to stow the components. Hey, 3 engine components. And I have 3 upgrade points, I still want 1 more. Well, we have a bit of dice still left over. Let's go to work. I have to buy some fuel and stuff. Let's get to know Nemba. Hopefully, please. Come on, neutral outcome. Come on. There. Whatever. We're gonna be gone anyway. Let me get some fuel. Let's fully refuel since fuel here is cheap-ish. Where's my refueling spot? Hello? Oh, it's down here, the trade hall. Fill fuel, 50 bucks. Pretty cheap, all things considered. Time to go. We're going to Hellion Gate. We had to go there anyway. Up. Then we'll work our way back up towards Wellspring. Hellion Gate hangs over the rig. Its corroded arches... Ooh. Neat location. Its corroded arches resemble the dislocated vertebra of some vast, long-dead serpent. That's one big ugly scrap pile. Surfing whistles from the pilot seat. Solheim didn't like to build them small. It's kind of beautiful. Sure. In that morbid kind of way that dead things are. Got to be big if you want to fit every ship that visits the systems through it. Impressive, really, building something so massive out here. Solheim likes to impress visitors, sure. But they also like to scan entire ships and impound those that didn't enter through the gate. Serpent catches your eyes looking for some agreement. Not the most admirable qualities. Looks like we're just surviving off the debris of Solheim, so it's pretty impressive. I'm surprised to hear a sleeper impressed by corporate infrastructure. Well, there's nothing else, is there? I mean, you've seen the Flotsam. Don't let him bait you, sleeper. Solheim were cruel and ruthless, but without them, this system would just be 2 gas giants and loads of rocks. No harm in recognizing it. You look out of the cockpit towards the gate. The layers of system and rooms slowly opening to the void, peeling away cycles after cycles to reveal their bones beneath. This is where Jean-Mi mentioned you might be able to find the location of a ship with a prime ship mind, among the old shipping manifests in Solheim records. You look over the towering structure of the gate. This is going to take some work. Suddenly a flash high up on the gate catches your eye. A light turning off and off again at the moment. You lose track of it. Is this place inhabited? Surfman raises an eyebrow. I doubt it. You winks and smile. You hoping for a station sidebar? I have a feeling you'll be disappointed unless you find an executive old liquor cabinet. Bliss pats you on the shoulder and drifts out of the cockpit. Time to see what secrets the gate has left. I got 2 places to look at. The customs hall. I can look around the gate. And the Solheim records. Looking for the ship. Let's go and explore the gate first. Get some services, maybe. Explore the corridors. Ooh, that was a good one. We already found a new location. Come on, positive outcome. Yay. We found 3 new locations. A derelict fuel barge. I can come here to scavenge for fuel. A seized cargo place. I can search for supplies. It's all dangerous work. Of what quality? This endure. Endure. I should get a point in enduring then. Gate structure. I can cut away scrap. I can data scrap. All really dangerous work. I think I got here too early. Power the archive. Lose a bit of energy on neutral outcomes. Oh boy. We'll have to do some scavenging then. End the cycle. Let me see if I can get some supplies. At the cargo place? At the cargo place. Search for supplies. Yay, +1 supply, so now I can eat. Okay, back to looking for the ship mind. I'm not gonna stick around this place. It's not really good for us. Positive outcome. Positive outcome. Alright. Keep looking. Yay! Oh wait, it's not done yet. One more. Bleh. Oh well. Let's take a nap here. Hopefully we get some good dices tomorrow. I gotta come back here when I have better skills. Let's eat at the galley. Eat a bit of supply. Let's see if we can scavenge one more. Go out there and scavenge, please. Do we have enough fuel to leave this place? Let me check. Belt. Yeah, we have just enough fuel to go to Holmes Rock. It's an asteroid colony, so there should be people living there. Hopefully. Let me see if I can scavenge some fuel. 50-50. Ooh, good. Lots of fuel. I'm gonna come back here and power up the archive, please. It's powered up. In the dark and areas void of the archive, something flickers. You have been working in the dark, picking through the guts of corrupted machines, skimming the data of the corrupted memories, digging through the graveyard in search of ghosts. But now, with another flicker, the place begins to come back to life. Along the row of benches, some of them crushed by fallen ceiling panels, terminals begin to flicker into uneasy life. A cacophony of distorted sounds accompany the machine. Some of them immediately glitch and spark. Did you do this? You stand frozen as the archive glitters around you with millions of shipping entries. The stream of information is overwhelming. Null graphs drawing out routes and inventories, tracing a web around you in pale cyan. Suddenly, they all shut off, the terminals blinking out together, leaving a single translucent screen glowing softly in the dim room. In that dim room, drifting towards you in the dark, you see a figure. Is this what you're looking for? The voice crackles aggressively through your suit's local comms. Who are you? Oh, it's Junie. Sleeper, is that you? You hear Junie's voice now, tense and unsure. She stops beside the single online terminal, her suit form lit and pale. Junie! You hear the smile in her voice. Good to see you again, though the venue is a little unexpected. I'm looking for a ship mind. Yeah, well, yes, I can see that. I've been digging through the archives myself, although slightly less forcefully than you. I didn't have this whole speech prepared for whatever salvager was ripping through these archives so messily, not to mention aggressively. But now that it's you, well, I'm just glad to see you. Although you really need to be more careful. You could have taken the entire archives down the way you were working with it. These machines are a decade old. You can't just rifle through them like they were scrap piles. I saw the patterns of your queries. A prime ship mind equipped ship. Still operational at the collapse. Last located in the region around Hellion Gate. Is that about right? Yes. Don't be a spoil sport. That's why I did the hard work for you. Junie beckons you over to the lone lit-up terminal. You drift over into a single point of faded transit trails beside, sunward towards from Hellion Gate. Something like this, maybe? You check the info panel beside the map. Ship mined and used, abandoned by all hands after the collapse, tantalizing in reach. What can I say? Try thank you, Junie. But the question is, what do you want it for? My body. You tell her what Jami told you, blah 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 blah. I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I think I can help you. I want to come with you. This again? Do you know how often someone gets out to those old Solheim wrecks? They're more trouble than they're worth, but contained inside them there's an entire history to uncover. I need the ship mind. And you're welcome to it. I promise to help you get what you need, and not to get in your way. I know I can't force you and trick you into taking me, that's why I want to offer you this instead. She indicates the terminal still showing you the ship's final resting place. I hope that maybe if I help you with what you needed, it will show you I can be trusted. I don't trust you, but okay. Think about it, Sleeper. I'll send the coordinates to your ship, and I'll be hanging around the gate until you're ready to leave. If you need to go get supplies from the spindle or anything else, fine. I'll wait. But if you go on this job without me, you won't see me again. With that, you leave her in the archive extracting data as you ascend back to Hellion Gate's upper levels. New local crew available. Alright then, and we only have one, so I think it's time to rest. Rest one more time. Well, I could spend these... Nah. I don't want to risk getting stress. Ooh, good dices. Okay. Well, we're full on supplies. And fuel. So let's go and get some data and whatnot. Data scrapping. What do I get? I get Solheim data. If I go to cut away for some scrap, I can get raw scrap. I get raw scrap. Let me get a bit more of these. And more data. Might lose some energy. And the 4 I'm gonna leave. Less time to leave. Let's get out of here. Let's go to the mining colony. Belt. Holmes Rock. Remote asteroid colony. I'm not sure if it's for mining, but I'm gonna guess it's for mining. Probably not for farming. Bliss. Sleeper. Bliss speaks quietly from the door at the back of the cockpit. Can we talk? You glance over at Seraphin. His head's back and his eyes closed while the rig cuts through the empty space. You don't seem to be needed here. You unclip from your harness and follow Bliss. How are you doing? Bliss glances over the shoulder as they drift towards the back of the ship. The question takes you aback. You can't remember the last time anyone actually had asked with real intention of how they are. I'm feeling better than I was. That's a good way of thinking about it, I guess. But to be honest, Sleeper, I'm not sure how you're still standing. Breaking out of dark side and again in export, those things take a toll. It's okay to give yourself space to feel that. Bliss leads you to the main corridor, into the workshop they set up when they repaired the ship. It's small, but there are neatly arranged tools and slapped away walls help it feel cozy and tucked away. You see improvements everywhere, new tools and equipment. Bliss notices you looking at the upgraded setup. I told you it would be worth taking along. You didn't give us much of a choice, but I never doubted it. That's a lie. Feels good to hear, though. Anyway, I didn't bring you just here to brag. I didn't bring you here to brag, or just to brag. They suddenly glance away, the atmosphere in the room shifting. I can see your body is showing the strain, Sleeper. I brought you here so you could do something about that. They beckon towards the workshop. Alright. Bliss gently cradles your arm, turning it on to inspect the underside. You see tears and holes in the vinyl skin, and dark moving things beneath. Watch Bliss work. You look as Bliss brings the light closer to the biggest tear, and it glints off the metallic tendon of your forearm. Below them, you see something more fluid and wet catching the light. You know, you aren't the first Sleeper I've met. I actually partnered with one in the last game. Feels like hundreds of thousands of cycles ago now, but I remember them, their precise work, their quiet enthusiasm. There was something calming about their presence. They were different to you, just like one person is different to another. I suppose but I can't help but remember that time. I was a different person than that for sure. I'm going through something of a transformation myself. What is it? I was pretending before, I think, to be the person I was expected to be. They pressed along the hard protrusion of the clavicle. There were so many calculations I was making, so many corrections. How I held myself, how I spoke, how I reacted. I didn't realize how tired I was until I gave up. I came here to the belt with someone else, and then when I did, I realized it was my chance to become something new. So I let go of everything. It was messy, ugly, and the person I came here with, I let them go too. I was punching out at everything because it felt like everything was holding me back, stopping me from the change I was owed. Don't worry, I'm calmer now. I'm not about to explode on you or anything. It's a difficult process, but it feels like shedding 100 suffocating skin that you spend half your life putting on, one by one. It feels like an escape. So you just escaped from the past again? So you left the eye to escape from the past. Then when you got to the eye, you escape from the... you left from the eye to escape your past, and then you escape from the eye to escape the eye, and then you got to the belt, and then you try to escape from the belt too. Uh-huh. They lean forward again and check the skin of your shoulder where it's worn and faded. You let them, the atmosphere quiet but calm in the workshop. Not bad, Sleeper. You're holding up well given everything, but I'm still concerned. There's some decline to your system functions. Let's keep an eye out for components. Thanks. No problem. I owe you for joting me out to whatever life had become on the far spindle. Alright. As you do, you think of your relationship to your own body, this frame that you were forced into, that has never quite felt like your own. You realize that this feeling is not unique to you. Not everyone gets to choose their body. In that realization, you suddenly feel less alone. Alright. Ooh. What are all these spikes? Lumpen and cratered, Holmes Rock floats on the sunward side of the belt. Its only notable feature the bright shapes of its solar arrays, angled towards the system's distant star. Can't even dock the rig here, Seraphin notes at the bright shape of the Holmes Rock. Won't fit. We'll have to park here and go out the airlock. He seems repulsed by the idea. We do that every contract. You do that every contract. I got used to sitting them out. Barely seems to worth the trip down. Bliss speaks up from the back of the cockpit. There are the ships docked. Looks like a low-tech freighter. They might be up for trading. I'll come down later. Don't feel like squeezing into a suit right now. You gaze out over Holmes Rock. It certainly doesn't look very exciting, but there's refueling to be done, and maybe more beside. You might even be able to score up a hot meal. You know, Sleeper, that low-tech freighter means you aren't far away from Wellspring. I haven't forgotten. Alright then, I appreciate it. I heard the pressure in the war in the inner system has been having an effect on how the low-tech syndicate is being run. Just want to get there before something big goes down. You look out at the low-tech freighter, painted to the same distinct yellow as the springtide, back on the far spindle. You heard they supply most of the water in the belt, not such an organization you want to collapse. A light catches your eye beyond the rock, a warm flash that has gone as soon as it appears. You are on the sunward edge here, and beyond is the inner system. Holmes Rock might look sleepy, but it lies on the shore of corporate war. Something its residents are perfectly aware of. Only one place to look. Oh, look at my dices. Barter with the locals. Explore the tunnels. I should try and keep my energy until we have found a place to re-energize. Hey, new location. A place to trade. Bliss, can you go out and get me some fuel? I'll go to the big freighter. I can buy fuel. I can. It's a bit expensive. I can help offload the freight. All right. The locals are worried of the syndicate. Bleh. Okay. Well, time to wait. Gotta get some energy back. I need better dices. Good dices, kind of. If you find nothing, we can just use some supplies. New location discovered. Senna's Rest, a canteen. Let's see, I can sell... It's not the best use of these valuable items. I can sell an agent component for 35 cryo, which is not much apparently. I can buy a meal for 15 bucks, which means I can take more risks. Hey doggy, the dog is here. There he goes. In the bid. Let's keep exploring the place. Nothing else to do, really. New location discovered. Oh, the Sun Catchers. A place to work. Can sell raw scrap here. Oh, Holmes Rock saves most of his income for this. Let me sell the raw scrap, see what happens. 13 cryo, that's a good price. They used to be paying me half as much back in the Farcatcher Spindle or whatever it's called. So I can work here to help them out. Let's keep progressing our clocks. A bit more. Okay. In Holmes Rock, it's impossible to get away from the feeling of living, working, and eating in a ruin. Most of the belt is built on top of these remains of Solheim's infrastructure, but there are plenty of places where modifications or extensions to the structures eclipse the foundation. In Holmes Rock, it is the reverse. The station is a small, warm patch at the center of a network of tunnels and bays that stretch within the rock. Most of them dark, damp, and wrecked. A sprawling foundations that will never be built upon. Every so often, gliding on your way between the Senna's Rest and the Suncatchers, or from the docks to the depot, you find yourself in one of these dark tunnels. That's where you are now. You float, stopped in a four-way intersection. No light visible down any tunnel. Go straight ahead. You drift straight ahead through a tunnel where loose wires have waved in the dark. On either side, tiny lights occasionally blink. Signs of a ghost network still running in the walls. You arrive at another intersection, with crooked passages leading away into the dark. Go straight ahead. You kick off gently from the wall and head into the cylindrical passage clad with panels that hold back the rock. It's wider than the others, and here and there little droplets of water float undisturbed. At the far end, you see a faint point of light, the warm glow of a lit passage. Suddenly, you hear a rustling in the dark and a shrill sound that you can't place. There's something out there. Rush through! 50-50. Neutral! You kick off hard and glide through the tunnel, feeling a few droplets of water gently splatter on your skin. You shake off the fear as you move. The dark doesn't scare you. Then it hits you, something solid and meaty, slamming into your stomach and spinning away. You press off the wall and push on as a shrill wail echoes behind you in the dark. What the hell was that? When you reach the lit passage beyond you, you turn back, but the tunnels are silent and still. You continue on, but you can't shake the feeling of being followed as you ascend back to the station. Perhaps next time you'll take a different route. On a new location. A sealed bay, which I can unlock with data. I just happen to have enough data. The Solheim Bay is sealed, but with enough data you might be able to crack in. This data we got from the asteroid, plus the extra we got from the gate. Unseal the bay. An old fabricator. I can print components. Oh. But it's a limited time use. There's a faded old Neoven printer in the bay. Fitting in data should authorize the components vending process. This cardboard machine is corroded and collapsing. It only has a few prints to be left before it's just a pile of scrap. I see. Limited uses. Let's go back and rest. Let's work for the Syndicate a bit. See if we can get some good pay, I guess. Decent dices. Help offload freight. 12 cryo. If I go over to the Suncatcher and help, how much is that? If I help fix the broken arrays. That's 8 cryo and energy. Alright. Let's go get some more monies. Negative outcome. The dog wants out. Give me a sec. Good doggy. Ooh. Off he goes. Into the sunset. Why? I need more energy, please. Pay me. Yay, money. Okay, well. One more cycle here, then we leave. We should get more fuel. Bliss hasn't been scavenging any. Oh, well, there it is. They just scavenged some. How much do I need to leave to the spring well? I need 6, so a bit more. Well, we can buy some. Up. And you have a bit extra, just in case. There we go. And let's go help the locals because they can pay me in food. Debug the array system. Oh, this one pays me. Okay, fix the broken arrays. It's this one that gives me energy. Yoink. That's good. And the ones I'm not gonna spend. I'm not going to spend the one. Let's leave. Up. To Wellspring. A water extraction facility. And the home of the What's-His-Face Syndicate. Presumably. Since they run the water. Seraphin. The shout echoes through the ship and it reaches you in the cockpit. You see the angle of Seraphin's head change, but he does not respond otherwise. Did you hear that? Oops. Did you hear that? Seraphin sighs. Yes, I heard. How about you go see what they want? Alright. You unstrap from your seat and glide out to the cockpit. You run into Bliss in the corridor. Where's Seraphin? He's got to be the guilty one. They look impatiently over your shoulder. Come on, you need to see this. You follow the irritated Bliss to the ship, down to a cramped storage unit stuck between the main ship and the hull. As you enter, you are greeted by total chaos. Amber globs of liquid rations float in the air and cling to the wall, while chunks of dried food spin slowly, breaking into crumbs. See? Someone opened up one of the supply crates and left it like this. They point to a crate in the storage, knitting with the lid pushed open. You look at the mess spilling out from the crate. Who could have done this? Inspect the remains. Hey, positive outcome. You take a moment to picture the foods. You find a torn open pouch of liquid ration. You turn it into the light and you see a set of evenly spaced gashes. Are those claw marks? Bliss puffs out their cheeks. I need a break from this ship. They look at you. Help me tidy this up. You spend the rest of the journey packing the crates away and disposing of the soil supplies, but as you do, you can't help but wonder what actually happened here. Also, we lost a bit of supply. When you're finished, you take one last look at the storage bay. As you gaze around the now cleared space, you have seen the same feeling of being observed by unseen eyes as you felt in the tunnels of Holmes Rock. Oh, it's the kitty cat. As he brings the ships into Wellspring's docking ring, you notice a rare tension in Seraphin's piloting. He jerks the stick a little too hard while the docking bridge extends, and a proximity alarm goes off. He curses under his breath. You okay there? Just fine, Sleeper. I get Blitz to look at the lateral thrust controls. It's a little sticky. That's not what I mean. He doesn't respond. As the ship stops, the docking bridge connected, you lean towards and look out to the cockpit window, trying to get a good view of this icy surface of Wellsprings below. The harsh, gleaming ice gives way to the steep sides of the cut. The asteroid's one city. This is a pretty big asteroid. Steep sides, it glows in streams with warmth, and peering down into it, you cannot see the bottom. Beyond along the horizon, you see the terraces of the pithead, where the current extraction efforts must be taking place. Seraphin runs the shutdown sequence and unclips from his seat. He turns back to you, a flinty look in his eyes. I'm going to head down into the cut. I've got a few leads to follow up. You get a sense he hasn't asked you for permission. Can I help? You can check out the city if you want, but I'm not following along, Sleeper. This is my trail to follow. Before he can respond, he pushes past and glides out the cockpit. You turn away and watch as he pushes past Bliss in the doorway. I missed something? He seems even more irritable than usual, looking for his sister. Family trouble? That explains the irritation levels. I would recommend we go after him before he pushes us back. Before he pushes past someone that pushes back. Alright. See you down there. At least Lane's unlikely to come out there to pick a fight with the Luthic Syndicate. They turn and head towards the airlock, whistling softly as they do. Wellspring, the base of the Luthic Syndicate. As you look across the icy surface, you remember Malik, the captain whose ship you saved and from whom you survived the ice asteroid. You also remember how he promised to repay you for your actions, should you ever cross paths again. Perhaps Wellspring is a good place for you to make that happen. After all, if Seraphine's sister is there, sure the Syndicate could be the best place to find her. Ooh, look at this. That's a big one. We have the pit head up there. We have the Wellspring cut. Oh, there's two places. Okay, never mind. Here I can explore the cut. And over there, in the pit head, I can have a pass. Oh, I don't have a pass, so never mind. Explore the city. I gotta hack the comms. Oh boy. And act like a local. Hack the comms. That can only go well. Lose some energy. That's not too bad. Ooh. Almost done. Yay. Amazing to think this place supplies most of the Belt's water. No wonder the Syndicate runs it like a corporation. You look at the gathered. You look at those gathered in the low-ceilinged bar, gathered around the cushioned couches and low magnetic tables, their voices bouncing off the metal walls. All of them wore low-tech clothing, a mark of their status as contractors from the Belt's most powerful syndicate. You look back to Bliss, who's watching another group, quietly discussing something serious in the opposite corner. I don't like it one bit. It seems fine. Bliss turns back to the bar and sips their drink. That's the thing. I've been looking around Chasm Row, searching out components in the markets. Down there, people don't seem to be happy. Components? There's a lot of talk of contracts. It seems Lutic's been locking down its workers, giving the war in the inner system as an excuse. They play with their metal straw. I don't think that's much of an excuse. Oh no, there's a war. The pressure's building, Sleeper. We shouldn't hang around here much longer. What about Seraphine? Well, it sounds like I'm not the only outsider who's been hanging out in the Chasm Row. I heard someone complaining about a rude young man asking too many questions. Who else could that be? That's the place to start if you want to find our boy. They said he was asking about the Ryan market, but I have no idea what that is. Definitely a touchy subject for locals there, though. Alright then. I'll finish my drink. Let me know how it goes. You leave the cutwater, shouldering your ways through a crowd of boisterous contractors. There's a conspiratorial mood into the conversations now that Bliss has mentioned it, and you wonder what all the talk is about. You feel a sudden cold as you leave the streaming bar into one of the icy passages cut into the asteroid itself. All the water in the hands of a single syndicate. If something goes wrong here, the belt will die of thirst long before the war reaches it. You turn up the collar of your jacket against the cold and head for Chasm Row. Which is... Okay, that's Chasm Row over there, but we have locations we've discovered. A depot. And buy fuel. Oh, really cheap fuel. Made from water. I'm not sure what that means. What kind of fuel are we talking about? What fuel? What kind of fuel is this? Water fuel? Made from water. Helium and oxygen? The cut water. A bar. I can take a shift. I can buy a meal. Well, time to keep exploring. I can buy supplies. Stay expensive. Find the Rhyme market. Ooh. We'll have it next shift. Next cycle. Whatever. Oh! We don't have a tracker anymore. The hunt is not happening here. For some reason. Look at that. It's gone. Interesting. Let me spend my ones here. Oh, I lose cryo, huh? Alright. I could exploit this, the fact that we don't have a running clock here. I could exploit it to get infinite money or something. Meh, don't feel like it. Let's get paid. Nice. We definitely get paid less here than we did back on the Eye, but food is much cheaper. And we don't need any money for repairs, so well we do, but not in the same way. Okay, more energy. Let's finish off this pursuit. Find the Rhyme Market. The markets of Casimiro have become familiar in the past cycles. Their steaming orange-lit depths, the persistent condensation on each unit's windows, the gleam of the amber workers' suits, each contributed to the particular atmosphere of this buried city. But among this, you have noticed other details too. The freelance crews on the hunt of illicit tech, the conversing workers who drop to a whisper when you pass, the light of flickering up through the floor gates, suggesting a deeper layer. These are the details you have followed to the Rhyme Market, a place discussed in hushed tones and dimly lit rooms, and as you drift towards what you know to be one of its entrances, the door bursts open in front of you. A large, dark bundle glides out of the door and impacts the metal wall of the passage with an echoing bang, while your eyes are drawn by the imposing figure that hovers in the doorway. Kirk. Imposing low-tech syndicate worker. Stay out of the Rhyme Market, rat. The man sends an orb of spit spinning after the bundle. The bundle unfolds and you suddenly recognize Seraphim, winded but straight-headed. Up to go back for more. Seraphim, stop now. What's going on? The man turns towards you as you shout, and Seraphim, seeing the opportunity, kicks off hard, flying into them with swing fists. The two tumble in a flurry of blows, slamming into the door frame until the man gets his leg between him and Seraphim and kicks him into the wall. Seraphim hits hard and floats away, a few crimson bubbles of blood drifting from his bust lip. Go to Seraphim. You glide over to Seraphim as he shakes himself. You put yourself between him and the figure. Know when you are beaten, rat. It's time to go home and lick your wounds. Seraphim hits exhaling frustration, his anger fading, replaced by the stinging pain of his injuries. You watch a perfectly round blob of blood form at the bottom of his nose. What's happening? For the record, this one started it, snooping around our meeting like a rat. You see his eyes sharp, recalculating the situation since your arrival. I wasn't snooping, I'm looking for someone. If you'd taken a minute to talk to me before throwing a punch, maybe you'd have gotten that. Just say I believe you. What were you doing in that meeting then? Missing persons ain't our business. All I heard is that this is where the low-tech contractors meet. I don't like you hearing that. Not at all, and I'm not going to ask you who told you that. But yeah, this is the where contractors meet, and if that's anything to you... The person I'm looking for is a contractor. She uses the cover name of Luz. Please, I think she might be my sister. Something changes in the man's stance. He holds up a massive hand to Seraphim and looks down the passage. Not here. He reaches to the door. Get in. As you both enter, he reaches past you and slams the metal door behind. I'm Kirk. Contractors are my concern, but if Lotte catches us discarded contracts out there... He shakes his head. He turns and leads you down the passage. You pass an open door and you glance inside to see a group of gathered into a circle, all of them in workers' clothes. They're speaking in a hushed voice. One of them exchanges a nod with Kirk. Let's not interrupt the meeting anymore, shall we? He glares playfully at Seraphim, who remains silent. Kirk leads you to the side of a massive vertical metal pipe with a rough hole cut in the side. You descend through the pipe in silence and darkness. Suddenly, you come out through the ceiling of a wide, low hall. As far as you can see, crooked stall and makeshift shelters dot the grilled floor, lit by scavenged lanterns and light strips. Steam drifts up through the grates, concealing the rooms so that you cannot see the walls. Welcome to the Rhyme Market. Kirk gestures a thick hand at the ramshackle interior. Lotek don't know about this place. Let's get a drink. He leads you to a nearby stall with a set of improvised stools welded to the floor in front. He hooks his legs into one, and you and Seraphim follow suit. He holds up 3 fingers to the stall's owner, and drink in a straw-pierced packet is handed to each of you. Blah, blah, blah. We friends now or something? Look, I'm not gonna apologize for putting you on your arse. That's on you, but like I said, I represent the contractors, and if someone's part of the family, well, then they deserve to be heard out at least. Enough. You know Luz, I saw it in your eyes. Where is she? Describe her. I'm not giving you anything more until you prove she's your sister. Dark hair, used to wear it long and messy, bright eyes, broad shoulders. You see a little twitch around his eyes as he recalls. Tough but kind, tattoos, nervous laugh. That enough? Yeah, that's her. You feel something jump in Seraphim, an almost imperceptible tension. It's his sister. Luz, or whatever her real name is, one of the contractors here. She's part of the most recent contracts Lotte registered. That means... Just tell me where she is. As I was saying, those new contractors are restricted to the pit head. In fact, this is what we were discussing when you interrupted our meeting. Stefan looks away in frustration but holds his tongue. Since the war, the Lotic Syndicate has been trying to lock down Wellspring. They went from a loose association of mining groups to an autocracy and started enforcing contracts with some seriously overreaching terms. Your sister is one of those contracts. Lotic are acting like they own her and others because, according to contracts, they do, which is exactly what we want to do something about. This cycle, we are voting on strike action and a full blockade of Flotsam. Oh, Flotsam? Why Flotsam? We will bring the Syndicate to the table to... Seraphin knocks his drink away and kicks off the ventilator, disappearing from the market. Stay with Kirk. Kirk watches Seraphin go with a disappointed look in his eyes. Your friend will go to the Lotic Syndicate, I know it. They won't help him there. The Syndicate will do nothing for him or you. Trust me. I want to help you, Sleeper. I want to help your friend, but I need your help in return. I want to help. I knew you would. Kirk places a plastic pass card in your hand. A glints with the mark of a with a Lotic Syndicate, a blurry ID photo, laminated into its transparent interior. This will get you to the pit head. You can see for yourself what's happened there. Don't follow your friend to Lotic. Go to the pit head. Find Luz yourself. When you do, come back to me, and we can discuss how to free her and everyone else like her. If you go to Lotic, if you meet with them, I can't help you. He releases your forearm and jerks back into the crowd. You catch up with Seraphin in the bustle of the Rhyme Market. I cannot have been the only one who saw this pitch coming a mile off. What kind of idiots does he think we are? Is that what this is about? This is about getting my sister out of whatever mess she's gotten into. We need to speak to Lotic. Forget these clowns. We don't need to get tied up in this. We just need to get her out. Seraphin forges on ahead, and you get caught in the crowd behind him. As he disappears from view, you curse his impatience. You float there a moment, buffeted by passing people, clutching onto the Lotic pass, trying to decide what to do next. That's an easy one. He can go to Lotic, and I'm going to go to his sister, and we can work it out together. Again, supplies, the Ryan Market. I can buy rare components and scrap components. Lotic operation. I can negotiate a meeting. Or I can just use a pass over there. It's fine. Seraphin will negotiate a meeting. I'll go over here. Up. The supervisor waves you through, barely looking at the pass. You're in. Hey, we got a special canteen. If I sneak a mean, using your pass, you can sneak into the canteen and get some free food, but you better be careful until you get banned. Wellspring, something. Search for Luz, join a work crew. I can join a work crew. Do I get paid too? Nope. No pay. Okay, so they're contractors as miners in the mine. Up. Then search for Luz. Done. The shaft descends towards a sump in the The shaft descends into a sump in the depths of the pits. There the air is freezing cold to prevent the ice from melting into globules of floating water. If your breath carried water, you'll be able to see it in the air, but the absence of steam in the exhalation only serves to remind you of your own strangeness. Nothing anyone else has noticed. The workers' heads are low, their eyes fixed on their work, shuttling chunks of ice and tools up and down the shaft. At the end of the nearby tunnels, you see the bright sparks of ice cutting into progress, slabs hanging in the air, in that strange way they do in Zero-G. Some loose memories of the time before Darksides, before freedom, come to your mind. The familiarity of the cold, the spark, the endless toil, it chills you more than the packed ice on either side of you ever could. You reach the bottom of this shaft, a metal grill marking the terminus. It squeals as you push open. The barred doors sit into it, and safety lights flicker on, lighting up the glittering ice particles all around their hard beams. It is as if all the stars are held there in this cavern. As your eyes adjust, the massive space comes into focus. It seems to have no up or down, just countless dark shafts and terraced pits cut into its side, all around silhouetted by their work lights. Contractors cut and haul and gather. This is where those locked-in workers are being held, caught in a contract clause that permits an endless shift. The atmosphere is grim. At the center of the cavern floats in a construction of welded-together habitation units. A heavy twist of cables stretches from the improvised structure past you and up the shaft behind, tethering it to a central power source. On each of the six sides of this strange apartment block, a set of struts project outwards, bracing the construction against the cavern walls. The block itself is wrapped in insulation, clad in protective plates. It glows with small apertures and lights. You approach the nearest entrance. Everything is bitten by rust, by decay. If the bars in the entrance aren't clear enough, it's obvious now that this place is a prison. The door sizzles open, letting out a blast of warm air. You quickly duck inside and seal rapidly behind you. The cramped interior passage glows warmly, but its ragged condition keeps it from feeling cozy. You follow the corridor, ducking in beneath hanging wires and loose insulation. This is where you'll find Luz, or whatever her real name is. You come out of the communal mess. Counters and food preparations units fit into the walls. Cushions, stools, and couches scattered around. A couple of contractors are stretched out in the space. One of them is snoring loudly in a corner. The other is sipping from a food packet on a stool. Suddenly, a door on the far side opens out of the cavern, letting out a flurry of ice shards. Luz, Seraphine's sister? You watch the figure as they glide into the warm light of the interior, with their dark hair and bright eyes, and you know this is who you're looking for. You meet eyes with hers, and something sparks in that dull, glowing room. It's as if she recognizes you. Also, wasn't there... If she's here, that means the refugee flotilla came here, right? But where did they settle? Question for later. Also, it seems to me like she really did a bad deal going for her brother, only to end up as a prisoner in a prison colony, mining ice forever. Sleeper? She looks in a haze, her hair stuck. I'm with your brother. My brother? She frowns. You can see her scan you, taking in your clothes, the way you hold yourself. For a moment you feel exposed, aware of your damaged vinyl skin, your industrial markings, your doll-like features. You feel the familiar sense of being identified, but also something warmer below it. A recognition of what you are. She blinks, exhales, and shakes her head. Give me a sec, alright? I just finished cutting 100 cubic meters of ice. I haven't seen you down here before. They just contract you or something? The tension drops, but you get a feeling she isn't quite looking at you. She crosses to a food unit and pulls out a packet. First sleeper I've seen in a long while. You'll do okay down here. I know you folks are tough and stick to it a job. That's good. The rest I can show you. Once I've eaten. I'm with your brother. My brother? I know you have me confused with someone else. You're not listening. She turns to face you and you see her wet shine to her eyes. What are you going on about? Seraphine is on Wellspring. The warmer chimes to let her know the food pack is ready, but she doesn't seem to notice. Seraphine, here? At the cut. She nods and shakes her head. Well, if he trusts you with his name, I guess I should trust her with mine. I'm Tala. She smiles a warm smile. Now, where's my idiot brother? I'll take you to him. She laughs nervously. Sorry, this is not what I was expecting on my lunch break. Tala suddenly seems to take on some energy. She glances towards the door behind you. I sure hope you have a plane, Sleeper, because they do not want us locked-in contractors to getting out. She moves towards the corridor. There's a security shaft and then again at the pit head. You must have passed through the checkpoints at the entrance too. I doubt we can bypass all those. She turns back, grabs her food packet, smiles at you, and shepherds you towards the corridor. You could run distraction maybe? Or is Sarah on that already? You're suddenly taken aback by the sudden change. We're going to have to... A blaring alarm sound inside the habitation module loud enough to wake the sleeping contractor with a start. You and Tala exchange glances. Sure, this can be for you. Tala rushes down the corridor and tears open the door at the far end, with you following close behind. The ice scatters, glittering in the interior light. The cavern is in chaos. You see dark-suited low-tech security wrestling with contractors, lit by flashing red alerts. More contractors are coming in through the door in the grill you entered from, carrying bulky equipment. The equipment is blaring out a voice, Kirk's voice, echoing through. A look of panic across Tala's face. A general strike is now in effect. All contractors should down tools and hold in place. Extraction will cease until our terms are met. Kirk's voice distorts and shifts. We have blockaded all traffic to and from Wellspring. That was about... Junkyard, whatever the name is. We seek the resignation of the Institute's leadership and for a new workers' council to be installed in its place. This cycle, we will shut down the shaft. Any workers not willing to strike should leave now. The screech of noise and the message begins repeating. You watch the security are pushed back towards the grill. Now's our chance. Ted looks around the cavern. I need to stay. I won't abandon the others. What about Seraphine? Tell my brother what's happening. Tell him I'm not leaving until all of us are set free. Tala backs away, glancing over her shoulder. You see them gathering their tools. I need to see this through, Sleeper, and you need to go. Find Seraphine. Do what you can from here. Help us change this place. You turn and head for the grill as quickly as you can. The way now cleared by the contractors, the handful of low-tech security pushed back up to somewhere near the pit head. As you ascend, other contractors shooting you dark looks. As you do, you have to speak with Kirk. Find Kirk at the pit head, directing contractors to barricade the entry points to the mine. So you took my advice. Good. We're glad to have you as an ally here, Sleeper. I'm not your ally. If you wish to help Sleeper, Seraphine's sister, then we are allies by intent. We don't have to act like each other. We don't have to like that. We don't have to like each other to struggle together. The syndicate was arrogant. They did not believe we could do this. But we far outnumbered them. Their monopoly ends here. Okay. Why do this now? The syndicate's monopoly over the belt's water supply has only been strengthened by the war. If we do not resist their exploitation now, it will be too late. Kirk leads you a little away from those contractors. If you want to free those like Seraph and Sister, I'll need your help. We have ships, but not many, and the syndicate still has tankers in operation. I'm not going to sabotage the tankers. Our blockade is not complete. The debris field between here and this far spindle remains open. We need other tankers to occupy it. Or we need another tanker to occupy it, and dissuade the syndicate from trying to pass. All of our ships are in use, but your ship and your crew could help us take a tanker and secure the blockade. I'm not a mercenary. This will all be an assault. The tanker, the Headstream, has been held outside the wellspring for many cycles. The crew is tired and sympathetic to our cause. We'll just give them a nudge. Your ship will pose an in-distress trader trapped inside the debris field. When the Headstream is obliged to rescue, we'll board and we encourage the crew to take control. You want to incite a mutiny? Trust me when I say that their captain does not deserve this charge. This is a liberation. We'll do it. I mean, I don't have much of a choice. Sure, I guess, but I don't really like this. I knew you would. I'm glad to have you in your cause, Sleeper. Suddenly, Kirk puts out 2 fingers in his mouth and blasts out a shrill whistle. A contractor quickly approaches with a large box, the front marked by screens and dials, and the back by loose cables. You need this HASNAV unit. You need this HASNAV unit. Navigate the debris field. Jens here will install it on your ship. Consider it a gift from our cause to yours. He nods once more and Jens passes it by you. Heading for the lift to the docking ring with your new module. I will provide the Headstream's coordinates, and I'll wait for your word. It's gonna be some kind of contract, huh? You leave the pit head behind, your mind racing. You do not know what you have ended up in the middle of, but you know that it'll be up to you to pilot your way out. Sleeper, what's happening? I heard the pit head is being taken over by the Kirk's guys. This you realize will take a lot of explaining. New contract and new local crew. Alright. Nothing's happening up there. This is closed off. Well, time for a contract. We should get some more supplies. Fill up. That's for fuel. The Casamroa can get supplies. Time for the contract. Let's do this one, then stop the video for today. The Headstream is holding the debris field. Go in there and take it over. I have Kirk with me, and Bliss can come with, I guess. Not many choices. The Headstream looms. Ooh, good dices. The Headstream looms large in the cockpit windows as it comes to a stop. I can't believe you talked me into this. This is not a good plan. Convincing Seraphin to take Kirk out of this low-tech freighter wasn't exactly easy. Over the pit head on lockdown, there weren't really any other options. A voice crackles over Seraphin's terminal, loud enough to hear, but quite enough so you can't pick out what's being said. You risk the urge to ask. The tension in the cockpit is palpable, all of you aware that this ruse could fall apart at any moment. Seraphin, you look behind to see Kirk. You keep them talking, alright? Seraphin flicks the comm switch and begins speaking to the low-tech ship, taking them for responding to the distress signal, trying his best to play the part of a nervous trader suffering an engine failure in the debris field. Kirk jerks his head for you to follow him into the corridor, and you unclip from your seat and float out behind him. If it's okay with you, I'm going to play the captain on this one. How's it going to work? If we keep calm and talk, take it slow, there's nothing to worry about. Let me tell you how this is going to go. You start moving towards the airlock. The Headstream has been holding here, cycle after cycle, while Wellspring will try to squash our little rebellion. Now the blockade is in effect. Well, they'll know they have to hold out for longer still, while the messages from low-tech operations get less and less frequent. He stops by the locker, swapping his low-tech uniform for an old flight jacket. This is a ship full of tired, unhappy, underpaid, and underfed workers. We just have to nudge their anger in the right direction. There's a hiss at the airlock cycles. Low-techs are coming aboard. Kirk catches your eye and gives you a wink. Lambert, a cold captain. The airlock door sizzles open, revealing a drained-looking low-tech captain flanked by security officers. Lambert, captain of the Headstream. He presents himself immediately with little enthusiasm. We have been communicating with your pilot, and our docking has requested to provide support. He looked between you and Kirk, his eyes lingering on you a little too long, no doubt taking on the strange vinyl skin, dark glowing eyes, and doll-like face of your frames. How far is your crew? Thank you, Captain. You notice the immediate change in Kirk's deflated posture and softer speech. We're surviving as best we can, but now that you've come to our rescue, we're very grateful to you indeed. Lambert limply shakes Kirk's hand. Not to worry, the Lotic Syndicate takes its stewardship of Wellspring and the surrounding environment seriously. It's our duty to offer aid to traders and travelers alike. That sounds pretty good. I'm afraid we don't have much to offer by the way of supplies. Our stores have been depleted by our long posting here, but your crew is free to enter our ship and make use of its facilities while you make our repairs. Kirk continues playing the submissive captain, nodding enthusiastically and uttering a stream of thank yous. You feel like he's pushing it a little, though Lambert only seems to be paying minimum attention to him. He turns to you. Your pilot didn't mention you had a sleeper on board. Stay silent. Kirk quickly responds. Apologies, they are such a good worker and quiet too. We perhaps forget that they're even there. Perhaps if your ship is in need of maintenance, you can borrow them for a few cycles? Lambert eyes you more brazenly now, taking Kirk's lead and his permission to indulge in the curiosity. Yes, his eyes trace a tear in the thick skin on your forearm. Damn, we need to fix that tear in our forearm. Perhaps it could be of use to us. Kirk smiles. I will send them to speak with your crew. I'm sure they can direct the sleeper to appropriate tasks. They'd love that. They're a work-shy bunch, this lot. I'm sure they'd be eager for a slave. The word sets you up on edge. We're happy to serve. After all, we owe you for safety. Very good. Tell your crew they are free to cross the docking tunnel then. Or remind them that no funny business will be tolerated. I have matters to attend to. See you later, Captain. Kirk waits until he is out of sight to turn to you. Good. Well held, sleeper. I just said nothing. I thought from the look in your eye you were going to knock him out. Yeah. But don't worry, we are going to have to pay him back soon and that's very blah 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 blah. Shall we go meet the crew? See what their opinions are? With a captain like that, I thought that would be very positive. I mean, he seems to be doing well for other captains. He's treating us okay. He seems to be taking his work seriously. Low take stress, calling the cavalry. We have 3 places. The engine room. I can sabotage the engines. Navigation control. I can debate. And at the payload ops, I can discuss the war. And tamper with the payload. Ugh. Operation support. Operations have been poorly treated by analytics. They are ready for alternatives. Alright. Let's see. I should have gone for the riskier one. Probably would have gotten us more stuff. Oh well. That's decent. Let me see if Bliss can do anything that she's skilled at. Debate Wellspring. Risky, danger. Sabotage the engines a bit. Bleh. We got a crisis location now. The comms array. That stream's crew has started sending updates on the growing tension on Wellspring. This is trouble. We gotta sabotage it. I see. I'm gonna guess failing here is gonna give you crew stress. That's alright. Let me just sabotage this real quick. Get out of our system. Up. Boom, done. Okay, they have cut comms now, which is not gonna help our situation, I feel. I have 1 critical success stored up. Let's use it over here. Falsify some data. That seems so dirty. I'm not gonna spend this one. I can go it up to a 4. If I had a +2 in engineering, I could... too late. That's fine. Let's end the cycle. We can afford to have some stress on the Lothic. We shouldn't be shy about it. I just don't want stress on my sleeper. Okay, so let's sabotage some engines. I feel really bad about literally sabotaging the ship. They were doing fine before we got involved. Criticize the contract, I guess. Got a little bit of support from the engineers. Alright. Let's try something a little less risky. Over there, debate Wellspring. Keep debating. Alright, and the rest are pretty bad dices. I can spend the 1. If I spend the 1, up, I can then use a 2 on something good-ish. Oof. Okay. Then push. And use it over here. That was worth it, I feel. It's our 3rd cycle here. Let's go back to work. Bliss. Sabotage the engines again. Pretty please. Bleh. That didn't go well. One more time. Come on, please. Bleh. One more crisis thingy. Over there. A distress beacon. Let's disable the beacon. No, thank you. No beacon for you. Alright. Now we're gonna have to take it slowish. We can get much more stress out of it before things get bad. We've almost gotten the engineers in here. I can criticize the contracts a bit. That should help us out. Boom, engineers are here. Next up. Operations are halfway there. And payload. Discuss the war. Tamper with the payload. It'll be up to our supplies. They'll cut it close. This is gonna cut it close. Meh dices. I can spend my 1s to get better stuff, I guess. Maybe. Debate a bit. Bad. Debate a bit. Bad. That's really bad. We're about to fail, actually. Huh. Alright then. Keep it up. It's fine. I can't really push it without getting some stress on myself. And we lack critical successes. Time to push it. Come on. This is a hard one. Nah. I'm gonna have to keep some stress then. Come on. Come on. Neutral outcome. It's done. Kirk pushes back into the bay. It's all kicking off, Sleeper. Lambert's lost control. He guides you through the headstream, a ship. He guides you through the headstream, a ship you have come to. Blah 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 blah. Perhaps this is the influence of getting to know the crew and their complaints around Lambert and the Syndicate, but its twisting corridors and thick pipes and cold metal had taken on an oppressive feel, cycle by cycle, hour by hour. Now as the shouts and conflict echoes down the corridor ahead, where a room glows with a warm light, it's too early, you know it is. The sickening feeling grows inside you, tells you that you haven't got enough support to pull this off. Back away! Lambert shouts echoes like a shot as you enter the crowded gallery. A gang of crew members, maybe a third of the total number, is loudly arguing. You have allowed yourself to be swayed by those eager to see us or used to our own ends. I am sorry to have to do this by your own crew, but there must be consequences. You look at Kirk, his panic expressions telling you that you aren't used to seeing. That's when he notices the security officers at the back of the room too. Then with the nod, security moves into the crowd. Fight them back! Bleh. You launch yourself into the crowd as it pushes forward. The crew resists. You find yourself trapped into the crush, then the blows start raining down, and the panic sets in. The crew falls back under the heavy strikes. Something strikes you across the head, and you find yourself spinning, dazed, your vision darkened. The rat is a sea of bodies, a crush of flesh. You hear the sickening crush of blunt objects swung against soft bodies. You regain your sense of direction as you see Kirk grappling with Lambert. Get the hell off of me. The spindly captain is no match for Kirk, who wraps his thick forearm around Lambert's neck and chest. Security officers begin to strike at Kirk, and you see him flinch. Seeing the moment, the crew wrestles the security officers off of Kirk as Lambert's feet kick feet in the air. Kirk's arm around his neck, his eyes rolling back. He's gonna kill him. Help the crew! You scramble forwards and join the crew pushing back to the security and anyone else resisting them. The tide shifts, the security falling back or floating injured, pushed against the far wall of the room. Small orbs of blood float across the space like a constellation of violence. Sensing the shift, Kirk releases Lambert, who spins lazily around the air, a trail of spittle leaving in the corner of his mouth. You see his chest rising and falling very slowly. He's alive. From this moment on, the conflict fades. Lambert and the injured are taken to the medical bay under the escort of the resisting crew. We just succeed anyway, even though I failed. Some of the security sees the futility of resisting and argue to join the mutiny. Those who stubbornly remain are taken to the brig. You join the others in cleaning up the galley, the room itself evidence of the brutal takeover. People bleed out and cried out of this room, and you can't help but feel that some of their pain is on you. At some point you have to stop, a hazy feeling coming over your body. You reach up and touch your head, where you feel a rent in your thick vinyl skin. When you touch something metal and cold beneath you, you withdraw your fingers. Settle yourself here, sleeper. Please. You have no energy to resist, even if you wanted to. As you sit on the couch and slip your feet in the straps, Kirk inspects your head. This wasn't how it was supposed to go, but I want you to remember this. I want you to remember that it was Lotek that caused this. No, you did this. You did all of that, dude. They pushed us to the edge and required us to do this. The blood will always be on their hands. That was us. No. If Lotek had treated us fairly, it would not have been... Yeah, the captain treated you fairly-ish. Spare your thoughts for the crew. Is the struggle that lies ahead. Handling the chip in the... So it looks like this was it's like a story event. It's not possible to fail this. Just how bloody it gets, I guess. They'll need to calm this violence alone, and retaliation will come. Hell, they'll be ready when it does. We, however, need to return to Wellspring. The struggle goes on. Take a moment before you follow, taking one last look at the galley. A few Crimson's chains, we sabotaged their ship. We made them rebel against their captain, got beaten up. Meh. Let's go back home. Ah, we have too much stress. We won't lose it all. Leave. I'm gonna have to spend some time sacrificing dices to lower my stress. Thankfully I didn't take any damage. The cut trums with tension. This steaming city and its brash inhabitants have quietened. Not to silence, but to a low rumble of conversation. The blockade is holding, the syndicate is waning, and everywhere there are plans to be made. You and Seraphin float idly in the chasm row. Many stores deep in the wound of Wellspring's side, waiting on Kirk, not far from the first place you met. A meeting Seraphin has still lingering bruises from. Kirk is inside somewhere, and like every other low-tech contractors, he's making plans. Even before you arrived in Wellspring, he had hijacked the rig's transmitters to speak with his fellow conspirators, and make arrangements for his arrival. Watching Kirk's plot unfold makes you realize that despite your development, in the end you are just a subsidiary part of the struggle. A chaotic outside actor with no effect but no real influence. Now waiting for Kirk's return, you feel a little solace in that. You aren't ready to be dragged into the struggle, not yet. You still have your freedom to win, and looking at Seraphin next to you, you know that he does too. Alright, we're on. Kirk comes out of the passage nearby. He leads you both to the Rhyme Market. With rooms and stuff. Wait here. Kirk's briskness is something that has slowly gathered since you left to the headstream, eroding your relationship to the point of non-existence. It's not something that surprises you. You know that every time he looks at you, he sees the violence of the final cycle of headstream, the orbs of blood, Lambert's unconscious form. You know because every time you look at him, you see the same. Stefan settles again. You shoot him a look, but his focus is elsewhere, and his eyes glaze over. You hold your arms and wait. You fold your arms and wait. Sarah? Tara enters so quietly that in the dim room, you barely notice her. She shoots you a look and she smiles as she enters. Thank you. She mouths silently, and she turns her attention to her brother. Tala. Stefan says her name again. Says her name like a sigh, like an exhale. He's shaking his head, his eyes already shining with uncontrollable no emotion. She rushes across the room, flying into Seraphin at speed. They embrace, softly spinning in the dust and dark, their fingers dug into each other's back. They separate, a couple of pristine spheres of briny steers, spinning away through the air as they do. You're safe. Seraphin nods, taking a breath. I am safe. She smiles reassuringly, settling in. In this settling, this gesture of care, you see a whole network of signs and secrets. Tala is the calm to Seraphin's storm. She looks him up and down. You're so big, Sarah. You've grown up. You're just the same sister. Calling me big, making me feel small. The moment your statement leaves his lips, you feel a chill in the room, and you aren't so sure what he meant. Tala flinches a little, but hurt but not wanting to show it. I came to find you. I needed to find you. Stefan looks torn, and you see in him something you have come to recognize, the certain careful raising of his defenses. Why now? It's been a long time, Tala. Mom and Dad finally decide they want me to come home. After you left, they're gone. I thought you would have... It's been a long time. It has. Tala folds her arm, trying to regain a little control. It's good to see you, Sarah. So good. I can't leave with you. I wanted to find you, and I have, and I can see you're strong and well, and you have your life here. But the people here, the other contractors, they were the ones who found me, who have kept me going since I ended up here, desperate and alone. It's not that I owe them, it's that they're my family too now. I know you understand this. We all find our families out there. We do, sister. Well, that was quite pointless. I know you'll take care of my brother, Sleeper. I saw it in your eyes when you came to my pit head. Looks like what's gonna happen is she's gonna stay here until she gets bored and then leave again to find her brother again. I can see you're building something of value on that ship of yours. Sure. She folds her arms again, her sense of control returning. Will you two be staying here for a while, or... Not long, we have our freedom to find. Just be aware that you're free to pass the blockade, but after that, Wall Spring is going to be locked down for a little while, at least until Kirk can establish his council. Next time you come, it'll be a different place. When the Tela says, you realize that you suddenly see the authority in her. One of those council seats may have well earned her name on it. Yeah, I don't care. You hope this whole adventure will make Seraphin a little less moody. If they doubt, you know it'll make him worse. Later in the cycle, Seraphin quietly comes back to the rig. You just close the door. Well, there he goes. He immediately settles himself in the cockpit and starts running diagnostics on the engines. He looks up at you enter and shoots you a smile. Good to see you here, Sleeper. I'm getting ready to head out. Are you sure you want to leave? I think so. I don't want to get too settled. Sleeper, thank you. I appreciate you bringing us together. Will Tala be okay? Yeah, basically. One thing for sure, we've been here too long, and we've been seen by too many people. Wallspring may be far out of Utsubo territory, but I'm sure Lane will find a way to reach this nasty claws out here given enough time. Hey guys, Bliss's voice echoes in the passage. Two contractors just dumped a load of fuel outside our ship. Said it was a gift. Got to be Kirk. It's either a thank you or his way of telling us to get going. Hey, so while you two have been busy, so have I. Been looking at the rig's drive and I reckon it's due an upgrade. We need engine components, quite a few, so keep an eye out. Shipyard seems to be a good place to look. Alright. Anytime. Better go help Seraphin with that fuel. As Bliss leaves the cockpit, you find yourself lost in thoughts. You're free to leave Wellspring. You now have a hazmat unit. You can go across the brief field. Cool. Let me just lower my stress. Sleep and recover. Alright. Okay. Come on now. Nice. I can still stay here for a bit. What about upgrading my drive? Improvise repairs. Rig engine. I need 8 engine components to increase the ship's range. Let's say I wanted to leave right now and go back to Flotsam. That'll be 8 fuel. I can go also to the scatter yards. It's too far to go to the hollow. I can go to the green belt eventually. I can go to the dark side. Alien Gate. Spar Spindle. Let's go to the Flotsam. We want to do a supply run. A contract. Get some XP again. Speaking of XP, I can get a bonus to engineering, and now when I'm out on a contract, I can spend my next 2 points on getting a less stress, and now we can reduce stress while out on the contract. We can have negative stress. Anyway, let's work a bit. I want to get some more supplies. we're going to be getting some... We're going to be doing some more contracts. I mean, some more, whatever they're called. You know what I mean. And cycle. Good dices. We got a bit of free supplies. Good. We have a bunch of money from our water contract, so that's good. 13 cryo. I can buy a meal. Where do I get my supplies again? Over there. Let's fill up. Bliss, you're gonna want to get some fuel because we'll be spending a bunch. Nothing else to do here. Let's just work, I guess. Work a bunch. And buy some a meal afterwards. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. One more. Yay, money. A bit of money. Even more monies. Buy a meal. Thanks. And time to go. Back to Flotsam. Boop. It's going to be a lot easier to navigate now we don't have to avoid debris fields. The rig glides safely through the debris cloud, the cockpit empty apart from you and Seraphin. So Sleeper, I've been thinking, I'm sick of running. We didn't exactly choose it. Maybe that was true when we first got out, sure, but we've been choosing it ever since. I mean, even if we want to keep going the way we've run out of belt. Beyond Wellspring, it's mostly rocks and emaciated scavengers. I'm a city boy at heart. But not only that, we've been building something here, Sleeper. The crew, the ship. We just got this HavNet suite for free. Uh-huh. What I'm asking on, how do you feel about taking on Lane? Want to go to war with Utsubo? Not war, but something else. We've been seeing what's happening in Wellspring, what Tala's doing. Kirk is a fool, but he's onto something. Get on the inside, organize undermine, that I can get on board with. You've changed. Do you see what happened? Lots of people got hurt. Maybe I have. Maybe I'm just bored of hiding out on the edge of everything. Just think about it, Sleeper. We find a way back onto Darkside quietly. We make some connections. We start something running. Maybe one hell of a thing. Utsubo are ruthless. The way they run Darkside. They've got plenty of people fed up with them, and they've gotten worse at Underlane. Well, you know that last thing didn't go very well, right? Well, whatever. They've gotten worse Underlane, worse since they pushed the other gangs out. You smile and shake your head at how fast Seraphin can bounce back when he wants to. As you do, you can't help but consider this plan. Maybe it's crazy, but we need a safe harbor either way. I've got a connection at the scatter yards. You Seraphin has his coin in his hand. If you want, maybe you can help. Maybe you can help us get into Darkside. Maybe if we don't, it's a good place to rest up and make a plan. Scatter Yard. You've heard of them. Their reputation as a fiercely independent shit of shipyards just starred war of the dark side. Hiding place right under Lane's nose. However, before we try anything drastic, we need to get that body of yours looked into. Stop stalling. Get the diagnostic run on your frame. Hey, I was doing this to help you. Whatever. It's you. A familiar voice echoes down the tunnel behind you as we arrive at Flotsam. Hey, Femi's here. You turn in the passage and see Femi towering over you. This just keeps getting better. Hey, Femi. Yeah, I guess. Remember Nia, the sister of you that you take in on the contract? Well, she's taking some inspiration from your little trip. You can see anger burning in Femi's eyes, but there's a tiredness too. The symbol crash has been repaired since we got out of exports. Caught up in the whole mess. So then stuck out here, she got bored and decided to sign up with another crew, take a job. I said no and she went away. What did it do with me? Hey, I paid her nice and fair. Nice attitude. I asked around. Turns out Nia signed out with some idiots hanging out down to Cutter's End. They're as green as you, meaning they have no idea what they're doing while they're They have no idea what they're doing going out to a place like that. So you are gonna take me out to get to her. Deal. Taking some responsibility. That's what I like to see. I know how these things go. I got chicks, I can pay. Can't pay for the parts that Symbol Crash needs when no one sells them anyway. 250 cryo, no bargaining. In the meantime, I'm just going to try to get the Symbol Crash ready to make the run herself. But the shape she's in, it's not the best idea to head out there alone. You see the desperation in his eyes. He would risk everything for Nia. be waiting for you. We need to head out soon. Don't test my patience. And don't even think about skipping out the Flossom without me. Then we're already done. New contract. New location. We have 4 cycles, huh? Alright. Let's look at the... So we have the rig over there. If I was to go down there, I can't take him. Never mind. So we'd have to go over there. This one, the Cutter's End. Needs more fuel. We can buy some fuel. It's expensive, but it's fine. This is good pay anyway. Okay. Let's work a bit. And we'll go and get the fuel later. We'll go and get the contract tomorrow. If I do maintenance, don't I get free scrap? No. Where do I get scrap over here? I remember doing that. Hydroponic ship? No. I think it was on critical successes. We could get some scrap. Yeah, raw scrap. Nice. I wonder where I can sell these processed scraps. They have good money. Okay. So tomorrow we'll head out to for the investigation. The contract. Whatever. Okay, bye. Bye, 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 bye.